Las Vegas Discount.net's the best there is. Save up to 50% on your next Vegas trip. And travel, rental, shows, and tours. Find the deals you're looking for. Las Vegas Discount.net. Las Vegas Discount.net. If you're going to Vegas for deals that are the best, visit Las Vegas Discount.net.
Are you ready?
Welcome to humanity. This is our one.
Whatever it takes, we got to say whatever it takes is what it took.
This is Brock Lesnar, and you're listening to Fight Net Radio.
Yo, hi, this is Sugar Ray Leonard, and you listen to Fight Net Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to listen to Fight Net Radio.
Lee Harvey Oswald, what's your name? How am I supposed to know you?
This is Frank Shamrock. You're listening to Fight Net Radio.
Hi, this is Nia, the Knockout St. John. You're listening to Fight Net Radio, and there's no way I would ever touch Lee.
This is Chuck Jackson.
I am Stephen Bonner, and you're listening to Fight Net Radio.
Dan Henderson, you're listening to Fight Net Radio.
Everybody, welcome to Fight Net Radio, where Lee's burning every bridge there is out there. All right.
Hi, this is Manny Pacquiao. I'll fight anybody on FightNetRadio.com.
I mean, this is ridiculous. It's a radio show. It ain't a one-hour television spectacular.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Fight Net Radio. So frustrating when it doesn't start on time. Or you heard me say it twice. Who cares? Lee Honish, Andrew Labouche. That's Andrew Labouche. He is a writer. He is a journalist. He wants to be identified as a journalist. I like to think of... Don't you? You do, right? You think of yourself as a boxing journalist. You're a member of the Boxing Writers Association, aren't you?
Yes, this is true. Yes.
Right. And I can't get in. You know why? Because I'm a personality. My job is to try to make you laugh. That's it. That's the format of the show. Andrew selects the news stories. We break it down into usually 3 sections. The fights from last night, the news of the week, and then the fights of next week. And we have a little bit of everything. But for those of you that are longtime listeners of the show, you will know that the beginning part of this show, usually the first 5 to 10 minutes, which, if you want, feel free to fast forward through, is Andrew and I talking about anything but boxing. It will reappear throughout the show. It's an ongoing theme of us trying to break up the monotony of talking about boxing, because the same shit happens over and over again in boxing. The right guys don't fight the right guys. I get pissed off. Andrew explains to me how it's a good fight. We get to fight night. It's a shitty fight. I go, see, I told you. And then we do the cycle all over again. And it's my job to try to make it amusing each and every week. First, I have to apologize to all of you who listen. I am telling you that some of the best audio ever with Andrew's son, my guess, that had to be your baby, your wife and you all arguing around the computer, knowing full well I could hear the whole sequence of events, was possibly the funniest freaking thing I've ever heard in my entire life. A crying baby leaving the room, then you telling your future wife, soon to be, we're just a few days away now, to go get you coffee. Oh my God. And for her to tell you to shut up. All I was waiting for was the sound of a smack on the back of your head. And that would have
The baby was mad because I took his pizza from him and threw it outside of the dogs.
Oh, so
That's why he was screaming for his mom. He wanted to tell on me.
So let's talk about the fights of last night, which will bring up my adventures for the last couple of weeks. For those of you who don't know, Top Rank's main event canceled literally on Friday night.
The weigh-ins, yeah.
At the weigh-ins because of medical reasons. Now, I drove up at noon, maybe a little bit earlier. No, 12:30. I drove up to Mountain View, California, for those of you who don't know, right outside of San Jose. Why would I be going to Mountain View? What is in Mountain View that matters to everybody in the area, Andrew?
The concert.
That's correct. Shoreline Amphitheater. So a big shout out to Ticketmaster for one of the better venues. Why? It's on the water. The temperature's correct. It's kind of outdoor, and it's got a cover on it. And the lower bowl. You've been to concerts there, right?
Yeah, yes, sir.
I like the lower bowl because it's really kind of a deep bowl. So if you're about 5 or 10 rows up, you're eye level with the stage. You have great seats. If you're in the pit, you're basically under the stage looking up at it. I hate that shit. So if you get like a row C or a row D, you're eye level, awesome seats. So I went up for a concert. So I drove my 6 hours. First, let's talk about my 6-hour drive and what I saw. What the hell is up? For those of you who don't know, you basically take the 5 freeway from LA up and over the Grapevine, and then you veer left and drive up in the middle of nowhere. And you read signs about there being no water and no food, right? That's basically all you read.
The farmer's just putting it on you.
Farmer's putting it on me all the way through, right? Okay. Hilarious. What is up with all the Baja Freshes? Has anybody noticed this but me? Starting in a town called Coalinga. Yes, this is how much I drive that drive.
It's a nice one. Yeah, it's a nice city.
Starting in Coalinga, which has a lovely Motel 6, by the way.
And it has a good museum. I had to go to isn't there a prison right by there?
Yeah, it's pretty close.
Yeah. I had a friend. I had to go see a friend there. And so I went to a museum till he got out. Yes, sir.
So as you drive up, apparently some rep for Baja Fresh made a killing off every off-ramp. So every truck stop and gas station for the next 5 exits has a Baja Fresh location.
Nice.
I like me some Baja Fresh, Andrew, but I wanted to know what that pitch was that killed so many Baja Freshes. So I get up to the lovely town of Gilroy. And what is Gilroy famous for, Andrew?
Garlic.
Correct.
Nice.
See, Andrew knows his Northern California.
Nice.
There's a Starbucks right off the freeway. You have to go through this little town. It's a lovely place to visit for 5 minutes, and that's about it. But the whole town smells like garlic. It's pretty awesome. I pulled over at the Starbucks. I'm drinking my coffee. I crack open my laptop, right? Catch up on everything I don't know about. I got about an hour before I have to finish my drive up to Shoreline to go to my concert. I assume my show doesn't start until 9 o'clock. I was off by 10 minutes. They started at 9:10. I was pretty close. So I was there, and I'm reading the email going, unfortunately, the main event has been canceled for tomorrow. Now, here's my attitude. If Andrew doesn't bring it up, I'm still going to the fight. So I go to the concert. I drive about 80. I see my concert. It's over at 11. Jump in my car, and I park. I take a Motel 6 that's roughly 80 miles from Fresno, right off the 5. So I've got both directions in my back pocket. I can either head down the 5 and go home, or I can drive in the 152, right? And cut down and be there in about an hour and 20 minutes. Easy peasy. Andrew, literally before I wake up, has written 5 lines of text telling me we're not going to the fight.
Yeah, do not come. I didn't know you were in Mountain View. If you told me you were in Mountain View, I would have said, well, if you want to meet me in Fresno, we'll still go to Fresno. I thought you were in San Diego, Lee. When you told me you had come down, I didn't know how far you were down.
I was down all the way.
Yeah.
Dude, you know it's counting crows. For those of you who don't know, I have an obsessive-compulsive disorder that requires that I see as many Counting Crows shows as possible. And if you're scratching your head going, who are the Counting Crows? Good for you. Good for you. You're probably a Raider fan, too. That would explain a lot.
We almost didn't have a show this morning.
Why not?
4th of July, Maximus decides he wants to start climbing walls in the backyard, takes out all of my cable lines.
No.
Yep, next morning I go, hey, it's telling me I got a loose connection on my front living room TV. Loose connection? Where the hell did that come from? Loose connection, my ass. Dog ripped all the lines out of the wall. So Friday, call up in Comcast. They said they can't be there until Sunday. Guy came this morning, 7:30 in the morning. He was here.
That's crazy.
Yeah, got it done. Fucking dog. They're still locked up. I gotta go unlock them. They're probably gonna start crying soon. They got a run on the side of the house that I blocked off, but they don't. It's pretty hot right there right now. The sun comes up on that side of the house, so they like to sleep on the other side while that's happening.
Unbelievable. Yeah, I'm with you, man. That's
what happened. Hey, we didn't miss anything in Fresno, though.
No, we didn't miss. Look, it was the right call. I was home by 2:00.
Booze all night, Lee.
Oh, yeah.
Booing.
Yeah. Look, those people paid a lot of money for a very specific main event. I don't know if it means we're going to lose our ride with Top Rank for flaking out of the fight, but I think they have to imagine they're going to lose the media as well as a large amount of the fan base when you pull the main event. Literally. Like, you got no backup. You got nothing.
Pull the main event, and then, if I'm not mistaken, there was no refunds on tickets. It even
nothing.
said that. Yeah. So, and then you give them, 3 work... What is your favorite saying for a fight that goes too long? A workmanlike decision.
Yeah. Workmanlike fight, which for those of you who are not familiar to the show, this is a term that was made famous by Dougie Fisher, where I heard it the first time where he did this. I'll tell you where I heard it the first time. I heard it out of Lampley saying it was a workmanlike performance, which my answer to that was, you mean a boring fight.
Boring fight, yeah.
So the spin is, I don't understand. For you that are fans, I'm going to hip you up to terms and how condescending boxing writers really the fuck are. All right? It was a workmanlike fight. That means it was a boring fight, and if you disagree with their decision, it's because you don't understand boxing. No. Take it from me, the personality, it was a boring fucking fight. Boring fucking fights are the worst thing that can happen to when I went to Vegas for the Jeff Horn fight, which, by the way, was not a boring fight. Most of the undercard was boring fucking fights. Fortunately, the main event, which is what everybody paid the money for, was not a boring fucking fight. I hate, especially when I pay for it, right? I still have to pay for gas to get up there. If I had sat through that crap storm and the main event turned into a shit show as well, could you imagine? How quick... By the way, this is true of the last fight. Andrew and I were out of the main event, midway through? For the last fight? Yeah. I sent Andrew up...
The sparring match between the two Filipinos?
Yeah.
They looked like they were brothers.
It was ridiculous.
Come on. They're in a foreign country, Fresno, right? They probably never even heard of this place. They look like they were sparring. Come on, let's go make our money tonight.
Yeah, no doubt. Keith Eidick of BoxingScene.com. Andy Vences didn't need to worry about when Michael Buffer read. They actually got Michael Buffer to go to Fresno.
Yeah, and I'm sorry.
How did they get Michael Buffer to go to Fresno?
Did you get that in my email? Did you get that in the email?
Yeah.
Oh, my email shows I cut you off. I was like, I don't know why you cut it off, but hope you got it.
No, Vences is outboxes the Alba. Easily wins unanimous decision by Keith Eidick. Andy Vences didn't need to worry about Michael Buffer reading the scores on Saturday night. Again, I'll say it again. How shocking. The coolest thing about going to that fight would have been hanging out with Michael Buffer. So far, that's the only thing I think I missed out on. A fight after the super featherweight contender settled the majority draw. Eric De Leon Vences convincingly defeated Frank de Alba in the 10th round, in their 10-round fight.
Is Buffer hurting for money, Lee?
Dude, he might have a flat fee contract.
He has to show up to Fresno, California. It just seems like,
really?
Buffer?
I've heard crazy numbers for what it costs to get Michael Buffer throughout the years. I've heard as much as $1 million for an appearance.
Right.
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if Top Rank, because they've got the deal with ESPN, has put him on like a retainer where they pay him monthly to do X amount per month just to make sure that he doesn't show up anywhere else. That wouldn't be shocking to me. Final scorecards, 99, 91, 98, 92, 99, 91. If any of you actually watch this, feel free to go to fightnetradio.com and comment, because Andrew and I did not watch it. Did not. We're just giving you the results.
My cable was out, guys. Sorry. Was it on the ESPN? No, it was on ESPN.
No, it was on ESPN.
Yeah.
The undercard, however, was on ESPN Plus. Top rank undercard results. Andy Ruiz. Yes, that Andy Ruiz. Not John Ruiz. Andy Ruiz. Here are your other decisions. 18-year-old Flores, who's 9-0 of Stockton, California, knocked down Herrera, won by 6